Changing topics, has the United States of America lost our way? Have we strayed so far away from the Founding Fathers' fundamental beliefs that the country is today suffering? Rabbi Spero is the author of Pushback, Reclaiming the American Judeo-Christian Spirit. He says yes, and he joins us this morning. Rabbi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
Let's start at the beginning. You know, we hear a lot, Judeo-Christian principles. What does that mean? A lot of people think they know what it means, but until I looked at your book, I didn't know exactly what it did mean.
Well, the Judeo-Christian principles, it's an attitude towards life. It's a philosophy, and it's biblical in origin, but our founding fathers saw in it the broad themes for what would be American life. So, for example, liberty. Liberty is very important in that whole scheme of the Judeo-Christian outlook. Personal responsibility and accountability. The knowledge to know what is right, what is wrong.
Sure.
To fight evil, and for a person to be able to make a living. In other words, free markets.
So when we hear Judeo-Christian principles, that's what we're talking about. And you write in your book, Pushback, that we were doing fine with Judeo-Christian principles in this country until about the 1960s. And then what happened?
Well, we implemented the Great Society. We thought we were going to cure all the ills of poverty or whatever. And instead,
which sounds great.
It sure does, but you have to be practical and you have to have foresight. And what it ended up doing was creating many in society who were dependent, an entitlement society, a sense that, well, instead of assuming one's personal responsibility and being accountable for actions, that no, I'm entitled to the largesse from the state. And there was also another part of that, which had to do with this transnationalism. Up until the 60s, Americans were proud of being Americans. Sure. And the Judeo-Christian ethos. And then they started to be confronted by this notion of, well, we're just citizens of the world, and most of the world is socialist, and they do it this way, so perhaps we should change our ethos.
Today we're at a tipping point, you feel. You know, we can continue down this path or go back toward the original Founding Fathers' Judeo-Christian principles. How do we do that?
Well, I think most of the country still believes in these principles, but they've been embarrassed to assert them to their friends. So first we have to have the confidence that we have the moral high ground and assert this to your friends. Be confident when you say these things. But then on the local level, when your school board is doing something, they're introducing something into the curriculum that you feel is not wholesome, or it demonizes America, or it doesn't paint the proper historic picture of America. Fight back, push back, go to the PTA, go to the meetings, go to the school board. And then I would say that people have to be more active in the streets. You know, the left has been successful because they know how to go into the streets.
They were very effective yesterday in the streets in Michigan.
And quite often in the last 50 years, they get the ear of congressmen and the ear of the press because they're in the streets. We have to protest when we think that our constitutional rights given to us not only by the Founding Fathers, but God himself, if those are in jeopardy, we've got to protest.
We saw that with the Tea Party just 2 years ago.
I like the Tea Party.
All right. Check out his new book. It's a good one. I like it. It's called Pushback. Rabbi Spero, we thank you very much for joining us live today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.